Solicitors.
Rapid Solicitors, sponsors of the Elite Ice Hockey League on Sky Sports. Accident compensation and medical negligence claims.
Hello and welcome to the Rapid Solicitors Elite Ice Hockey League highlight show here on Sky Sports. This week from the Motorpoint Arena here in Sheffield, as the Sheffield Steelers take on the Nottingham Panthers in a massive game. And it doesn't get any more exciting than this.
We'll be bringing you all the action from the Steelers versus the Panthers, as well as the highlights from around the league. We'll hear from Sheffield player coach Ryan Finnerty on his experiences of this fixture, and Simmsy has been on the road again, visiting Paul Thompson for another coaching session.
And as well as that, I'm sure Dave Simms will spare us some time to give his opinion on all things Elite League, as well as everything else, I'm sure. Dave, tonight's game, Steelers-Panthers clash, doesn't get much bigger.
I know it's the biggest fixture in the Elite Ice Hockey League calendar, and that's for many reasons. These two hockey clubs don't like each other particularly well. They've got a lot of animosity between them. You add in geography, you add in 20 years history, and there's a fair bit of combustion that's going to take place tonight. And the energy already in this building, and we're probably an hour or so away from face-off, you can tell it's something different about a Steelers-Panthers game than there is to any other game in the calendar.
So what can we expect?
Well, I used the word combustion, didn't I? And we spoke about combustion down in Coventry a couple of weeks ago when they played the Cardiff Devils. We didn't get it then. We'll definitely get it tonight. These two teams have been thinking about this game since last week. They'll be so relieved to get the Saturday game out of the way. Nobody in Nottingham, reading the papers or listening to the radio, would have even known they were playing the Hull Stingrays last night. Same here in Sheffield. Sheffield come back from a victory against Dundee, but nobody was interested in talking about that. It's all been about the Steelers and the Panthers all week. So you have to give both clubs credit for getting through their Saturday games, unhindered, and now they concentrate on tonight.
We're going to be seeing a lot of new faces tonight.
And interesting to see how they're going to cope, because they'll all have been told about this great rivalry. We know Corey Nielsen's used to it, Ryan Finnerty's used to it, Danny Myers used to it, Jason Hewitt used to it. But how's Jordan Fox going to react? How's Stevenson going to react? How do these new players, Will DeCaro, he'll face a lot of rubber very quickly tonight. So always interesting to get that first Steelers-Panthers game under your belt, and then you understand it a bit more.
Now, both teams have had really great starts to the season, which I'm sure makes for an even more exciting game tonight.
Yeah, even though this is Challenge Cup, the two teams, the Steelers and the Panthers, would normally be 1 and 2 in the league if it wasn't for Doug Christensen and the fantastic start that the Belfast Giants have made. But this Challenge Cup, very, very important.
So what does it mean on a Challenge Cup level? What does this game mean?
Well, if the Nottingham Panthers are victorious tonight, I think that pretty much guarantees the Panthers through into the semi-finals. Sheffield have only played the one Challenge Cup game so far. They need to start getting some points on the board early, because this Challenge Cup is so important, not only to the players to win a trophy, but Anna, to the owners, to the bean counters, because if you make the semi-finals, you get that extra gate, a little bit extra cash in the pocket, and then of course you have the great chance of making it through to the final. Because with all due respect, whoever finishes top of this group is going to finish, or is going to take on the team that finishes second in the Northern group, and that will give that team a hell of a chance of making the final.
So who's going to win tonight, Dave? Do I need to ask?
I think the Sheffield Steelers. I think the Sheffield Steelers will come in here. They're unbeaten at the Motorpoint Arena. The Nottingham Panthers have played great this season. As you know, I take them to win the league title. I think they have that capacity to do that. Can they raise their game tonight? I'm sure they will, but it's going to be a barnstormer. I take Sheffield by maybe just 1 goal.
Do you know who I'm going to take?
I think you're going to go for the Nottingham Panthers.
Do you know why?
You're a Danny Myers fan.
No, because I haven't interviewed them.
There you go.
Why. Well, we'll be speaking to Steelers player coach Ryan Finnerty in just a few minutes about his experiences of Steelers-Panthers clash. But before that, let's see how both teams got on in their respective ties on Saturday. Chris Ellis reports.
The last time these two sides met in this barn, Nottingham skated to a 3-2 victory in the Challenge Cup. On this occasion, the home side had an early power play, champagne in the box for hooking, and watch Benedict to Fox. What a move from Jordan Fox. That guy is getting a highlight reel of his own at the moment with showpiece goals, while Fox scores a cracker there short-handed, and Nottingham were ahead. At the other end, Josh Ward here gets clattered into the boards by Osman. It was a clean hit. Tom Darnell saw it as a clean hit, and also Panthers coach Corey Nielsen after the game admitted there was nothing wrong. But Josh Ward did break his jaw, got really bruised and broke his jaw, and he's going to be out for a few weeks. Nottingham, though, pressing still in the first period. Face-off win from Fox, Nielsen into the offensive zone, and then Nottingham set themselves on this 5-on-4 power play. Good movement, and the goal there from David Clark. Lovely finish from Clark, his 12th of the season. Champagne and Fox getting the assist on that one. Nottingham then with a 2-0 first period lead. Into the second session, Corey Nielsen gives the puck away. It's a breakaway for Osman. Osman past Kowalski. So the second sure-handed goal of the night. One for Nottingham, one for the Stingrays. And with 27 seconds remaining in the second period, it's a 2-1 game. Now, Levers starts this move up at one end, and Nottingham flow down the ice. Wilson to Beauregard, and Levers finishes it off. 3-1 game then for Nottingham at 44-22. Nottingham in the ascendancy, and it looks like the 2 league points are going back to the National Ice Centre. But the Stingrays weren't finished. Power play time. Cloutier and Osman getting very much involved. Strong work behind the net in the first instant, and then out to left point. And look where Matt Davis is in front. So it's a 3-2 game with just over 10 minutes remaining. Certainly set up a tense finish. Nottingham in the end, they skate to their 6th win in their last 7 away matches. Hall 2, Nottingham 3. Sheffield in Dundee brings back memories of last season's memorable playoff quarter-final series. Of course, the Steelers home and hose, they thought, from the first leg. 6-1 they won at the Sheffield Arena, but the Dundee Stars gave it their all. They had a fight back in the second leg, and although they won it 4-2 in the end to go out on aggregate, it was a memorable night. Back to the present day, Mark Thomas there, first of the season, 21-27 the time of the goal. Ramsey and Clark getting the assist. At the other end, Brake Hughes goes through on goal. Stevenson does the work just to fend him off, but then he goes crashing to the balls to Hughes. Hughes slightly hurt there as he goes back to the sidelines. Now the Steelers were outshot 46-25, but they looked in control for much of the game, did the visitors. But there on the breakaway, Hutchins shoots. De Caro, one of 46 saves he makes there on his way to the shutout. The Steelers, though, look good, and their transition from one end of the ice to the other was great. Squire's here, the young British player. Lovely pass. Ashley Tate through on net. In fact, it's a 2-on-0 break. And no, Tate doesn't need anyone else. He doesn't need Finity, who's up with him. Tate scores himself. So 2-0 game. And this stage, 34-36 is the time of the goal. But again, look how they go from one end of the ice to the other. This is the third period. Shot coming in there from McLean. And it's just so simple. The Steelers just be patient. Sarich has it left-hand side. He looks up. Lovely pass. Finity beats the man. And I guess the netminder will want that one back. 3-0 game. 42-08, so just into the third session. Still time for more action, though, and Finity wins that face-off, and the Steelers have a lot of pressure. It's 5-on-5 hockey here, but at the moment, the Dundee Stars just can't get hold of the puck. The Steelers just moving it around. They dump it behind net, and then Esders and Tate are the two men who just managed to combine to set up Ryan Finity. It goes behind the net, and watch how it comes out in front, and there's Finity for his second goal of the night. Final score, Dundee 0, Sheffield 4.
Wins then for both teams going into their game tonight. While it might be Ryan Finity's first Steelers-Panthers clash as a coach, it certainly isn't his first experience of this fixture. As a player, he was always described as a big game player and enjoyed some success in big games over the Panthers. His last game against Nottingham, however, was in a Cardiff jersey and ended with playoff heartbreak. Today presents a big test for his team and a different kind of personal challenge.
Ryan, big game for you guys tonight. Just tell me about your experiences of Panthers-Steelers clashes in the past.
Yeah, we seem to find each other in the big games, whether it's a Challenge Cup final, playoff final. They're always more intense in most games. The fans get into it a lot more. Seem to be a lot more of them at the games too. So they're big games. We all look forward to these ones on the schedule, and we all want to win and win for ourselves and win for our own respective fans.
Can you just describe the emotion to me, what it's like beforehand, how you all feel?
Yeah, it's a bit different feeling just because of the rivalry. I think you kind of want it more. You know how much more important this game is in the eyes of our supporters and for ourselves. So, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's a preseason game, a Challenge Cup final, a playoff final. It's a Steelers-Nottingham game. There's always going to be that added emotion and intensity to the game.
You yourself had a pretty good track record against them, though. Yeah,
we started out well. They've stolen a few away from me in the last couple of years, but you know, personally, it's a great game to play in. I think it brings a real character and shows what guys have when they show up for these kind of games. And you know, we're excited.
It's your first one as coach. Does it feel any different?
Yeah, I think it's kind of upped a little bit more, a little more nerve-wracking. But you know, at the end of the day, it's still just a hockey game. You know, we got to do what we normally do and hope for the best. But like I said, it's an exciting time for both clubs and for the new guys to experience it here. You know, a lot of questions about what it's like, and it's hard to explain and put into words. It's just that it's amped up that much more.
What's the mood like in the dressing room? Are you thinking you can do it tonight and nail them?
Yeah, I think you know, I think we're good. We're back to health. We're back to full health now, and which is a good sign. You know, we had a tough game last night, a long road trip home, but guys are excited. You know, I think everybody kind of looked at this game before the Dundee game, so I think now that we're finally here, we're ready to go.
Just finally, just stepping aside from tonight's game, I mean, you've had a pretty good season so far. How's it feeling for you?
Yeah, great. You know, the guys have responded well. We've played good hockey. You know, we've stolen a few points when we probably shouldn't have, and that's a good factor. Our goalie's playing well. We're improving day to day. You know, there's still a long ways to go, but we're improving day to day.
I'll let you go and prepare for tonight.
Thank you.
It's going to be interesting to see how Ryan Finnerty's Sheffield Steelers side handles and approaches this game against the Nottingham Panthers. Before that, though, 2 games from Saturday evening. Up in Braehead, where the Coventry Blaze were the visitors, and a huge game down at the Big Blue Tent, where the Cardiff Devils entertained the Belfast Giants. Our man there, Chris Ellis.
Braehead went into the game with an unbeaten home record, and they were ahead inside 8 minutes. Bruce and Campbell combining to set up Brock McPherson for a 3rd goal of the season, and a good start for the Clan. Very early doors in the second session, power play time for the home side. Who else but Kristanovic, and then Galbraith setting up Drew Bannister, who missed last weekend's game in Nottingham. Bannister getting his 2nd goal of the season. But back came the Blaze, first of all Nell, and then the debutant Dustin Wood, setting up Shea Guthrie for a 4th goal of the season. 25-47 gone, it's a 2-1 game. It was anyone's then. Galbraith gives the puck away centre ice, 1-on-1 for Greg Owen. He makes it 2-2 with a neat low finish. Very much game alive. The period coming to a close, and we're all square at 2-2. Someone needed to make a good start to the 3rd, and it was the home side who did exactly that. Once more, Kristanovic and Galbraith involved, setting up Mike Bayrak for his 1st goal of the season, 47 seconds in to the 3rd session. And then a nice moment for Jade Galbraith. He may now have 9 points this season, but 1-on-1, that's his 1st goal of the season. Lovely finish from Galbraith, 4-2 game, and that was the end of the scoring. John Pele has been out injured for Belfast since the opening pre-season game against Nottingham. Surely on his return it'll be a bit rusty. We'll wait and see what happens. He scored the 1st goal of the night, power play goal, 5:41, of course against his former club. But back came Cardiff, big hit from Brad Voth, then Batch and Hill combine, and Voth finishes off this one. So 13:27 gone, we've got a 1-1 game. Into the second session, very early doors, Pele, he scored 55 goals for Cardiff last season, and now he's scoring them against them. Awada and LeBlanc combined, Pele's 2nd of the night, just 34 seconds into the second session. But Cardiff weren't done yet. They found a way through once more, just past the midway point in the game. Hill and Davis combining, and Scott Dobbin with the final touch. So 31-42. We've got a 2-2 game. It's very much game alive. But Belfast finished the period much the stronger. It's no surprise their away form has been great. Great move on the power play. Doucette and Peacock for a bullet from Jeff Mason. 38-07, so it's a 3-2 game. Now 78 seconds later, it got even better for Belfast and for Pele. There he finishes the puck. He loved that hat-trick goal. Look at the celebrations. How happy was he? Don't think the Cardiff fans were probably too happy with that. They maybe thought he over-celebrated, but it was a hat-trick against your former club in your 1st game back from injury. Into the 3rd session, and things got better and better for Belfast. LeBlanc there off the pipes. His last goal, of course, for the Giants. He's now left the club this week. So that was 5-2, and there was still time for another goal. Lloyd and Garside combining. That one for Keith. The referee, Andy Carson, right on the spot there, he gave that goal. 6-2 game. I think Cardiff may have had 1 or 2 worries about that one, and you see them complaining. Belfast are celebrating, but that was the end of the scoring. It finished Cardiff 2, Belfast 6.